Intergeneric, hey guys, here. Welcome back to another episode of Smash Talk. Today, guys, is quick news because today we have Famitsu article number 608. It's a lot I missed, alright? Today we are going to be doing Famitsu. We're going to do some Famitsu reading of some Famitsu stuff. Before we begin, I'd like to say a couple things. One, shoutouts to PushDustin and Sephazon for the translations for this. The first half is with PushDustin, the second half with Sephazon. So we're going to read the full translation and kind of, once again, grasp my opinion. If you guys don't know how this works, basically I talk through the article. Then what I do is I kind of give my opinions throughout, just talking about what is said and kind of my opinions on it, some things I see in the future, because these could lead to some interesting topics. And I figured today, since we haven't done one in a while and I haven't uploaded on the channel for a while due to various reasons, yummy, I've decided that this would be a good way to kind of get us back in the groove of things and stuff. Second off, I apologize if I am very, I don't know, just weird. I apologize for that. I have not talked in front of the camera in a very long time. Just like talking to you guys. I haven't done that in a while. I've been doing, stuff on the second channel, but I haven't talked to you. I haven't talked on this channel in a while. Kinda nervous, but you know what? It is what it is. So without further ado, I think it's about time that I shut TF up and let's go ahead and get into this Famitsu article. Also, excuse the bad gameplay of Min Min. So to start out, we have the first half with PushDustin's talk. This is Sakurai's finally talking about Sakurai is finally talking about Min Min's development in Smash with column number 608, blah blah blah. The column is supported by Japanese Switch, so be sure to check out their okay guys, make sure Japanese Switch, go check them out. Also, once again, check out PushDustin and Sephazon at their respective Twitters for more information on gaming news, so you guys do not miss out on anything. Alright, let's get back into it. There is a note before we begin the translation. It says, please note Sakurai wrote a draft of this column way before Min Min was released, and even before the Sakurai present to Min Min was even recorded. Sakurai first saw ARMS before ARMS was even released. So you guys don't know, I'm sure all of you do know at this point because it was mentioned in the Byleth presentation, but Sakurai gets special rights to, of course, because he's making the Smash games, and he has to base those characters, and since he wants to be very loyal to kind of what the character is in their respective game, he is offered to play those games for free. For free, what the hell? I mean, maybe he probably does. I mean, he don't need to pay for nothing. Sakurai just walks in like, Breath of the Wild, please, and they're like, yes, honey. Sakurai has special rights to play these games before they're released. For example, he was able to play Breath of the Wild for Breath of the Wild's Link because he needed some references for Breath of the Wild, and he needed to get stuff rolling with Link before, because he wanted to base the Link that you see off of Breath of the Wild Link.
I've done the same thing before, with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example, because I couldn't wait until launch to experience it, or we'd have never made it in time. For that title, I borrowed an early version of the game for 2 days, ran around all the areas, saw the ending, and realized for the first time, I guess we can't really have Breath of the Wild's Princess Zelda as a fighter.
And another example of that is actually Byleth is another great example. Byleth was introduced in the Smash DLC, and Sakurai was able to play Fire Emblem Three Houses before the game came out, so that way he could have reference to making the character.
To understand the concept of Fire Emblem Three Houses, I played an early version of the game before its release.
It's kind of like that, so I'm assuming it's the same here. He saw ARMS before, and I mean, he saw it was cool. It sounded pretty cool. And he decided, hey, I'm gonna use ARMS in this next DLC bunch. Plus, I think this also refers to an article later, but I guess I'll find a chance to squeeze that article in later because it's actually pretty cool. Interview with Yabu. And I guess this is where we're gonna put it, because I'm gonna be honest, guys, I've edited this whole video and this is probably the best part I can even put it in. So we're gonna put it here. So anyways, let's go to the Yabuki interview. So Yabuki said in a previous interview a long time ago when Super Smash Bros. Ultimate first came out, basically how it went was the interviewer was asking Yabuki a question and he said, will we see, as this is frequently speculated, an ARMS fighter appear in the recently announced Super Smash Bros. For Switch, and if so, who? And then apparently, according to their notes, Yabuki's answer was followed by some intense forehead rubbing. Instant forehead fetishist elitist rise. I don't know, bro. I think the correct answer is to say I can't answer that, Yabuki said. Another thing I'd say about that is that ARMS is so young. It's only a year old. Maybe it's too early to think about that. But I think it's absolutely fantastic. There are people out there talking about ARMS in that way. Bro, I'm so disgusted. I'm sorry. So this kind of goes back to that whole point of playing games early. It seems that Sakurai, this was just kind of bad timing on their part of releasing ARMS and when ARMS was released, compared to when they finished the roster of Smash Bros. And stuff. Considering that, you know, Sakurai has run into problems like that is shown to in this game, such as Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because he wanted to add Rex in as a character, but he couldn't because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was, you know, it was just bad timing in the development of the game. So I can understand that, and then the whole thing with ARMS makes sense as well. So anyways, we're going back to the zoom. Yo, cut back. In order to add content from upcoming games to Smash, Sakurai was able to see a number of Nintendo titles that were still in development. Since it was so difficult to add a character, Sakurai decided to add Springman as an assist figure and gives ARMS some spirits. So it's as I was saying before, Sakurai sometimes is able to play upcoming games before they come out. So that's pretty cool, and how he's able to take that and then merge that into his own character and stuff. It's cool. This shows that, yeah, Sakurai, I guess he did have some sort of interest in wanting to add ARMS as a fighter, an ARMS character as a fighter, but then he decided, it's Springman in, because, you know, Springman was kind of the commercial character at that time. So after it was decided to work on a second Fighter's Pass, it was settled on to include an ARMS character. With ARMS, the characters control their left and right arms separately. In addition, the characters can move around and jump. Very similar to the gameplay of ARMS, actually. So, yeah. As you know, I'm sure you know already, Min Min is structured very, very, very similarly to an actual ARMS match. If you actually play ARMS and you see what happens in there, and they emulate ARMS and capture the essence of what ARMS is pretty well. So at first, he considered making the character without any special moves at all, but when he really considered it, he came up with something unique. Now, that's actually pretty interesting, how he was like, oh, maybe I'll make this character without any special moves. I mean, I guess I can see it. I wonder if he would be able to do the switching arms mechanic, and what would be his down B? What the hell would be his up B? Wait, if he didn't have any special moves at all, would there even be an up B, or would the character just be like, I don't know, actually. Wait, what? Nani? No special moves at all? Brain hurts, let's move on. When Sakurai thinks about the project plan and looks at the final result, he feels that Min Min truly stands out from the rest of the characters, in which she definitely does. While he expected some difficulties to come up in development, there weren't any major problems and development proceeded smoothly. I'm assuming that's with the fact that one of her arms is the reason why it exceeded.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
What Sakurai means here is that he was trying to capture the essence of ARMS. Probably would have been hard at first on paper, but in actuality, when figuring out where to map where to what button and what exactly to do for specials, and oh, hey, should we do this for specials? And then what they ultimately ended up deciding to do, I feel, was a faster, smoother process than what he anticipated. So that's really nice. Sweet. So now we go on to the homie Robert Sephazon. Is that your last name, bro? Cool last name if that's your last name. Let's move on. This is kind of awkward. The B button is typically used for special attacks, but Sakurai wanted to make Min Min's A button attack with the left arm and the B button attack with the right arm. I'm assuming he wanted this to emulate kind of how the controls of ARMS actually is, where you have two switch Joy-Cons obviously, and you punch with your right and left side. So I guess he wanted to make it feel like that as much as he could. And in a game like Smash Bros, where the gameplay of Smash Bros is so drastically different from the gameplay of ARMS, it's actually really really interesting how close he was able to make it with what he had. Like, you only have a certain amount of buttons to map where, and I think the fact that there's always going to be a structure of how Smash Brothers characters moveset is structured is actually really impressive that he was able to capture arms pretty perfectly in it. You know what I mean? When playing like this, Sakurai thinks this shows the spirit of arms, where both arms have to be utilized simultaneously. Dog, look at that, man. I like reading Sakurai's freaking mind here, dog. I didn't even really read the second part like that, but like I'm reading Sakurai's whole mindset here, dog. You know what I mean? Look at that. It's not impressive. You said, all right, you know what? This creates the feeling of arms, but in the style of Super Smash Bros. This is very important. When working with other IPs, the new developer doesn't necessarily have to follow the original games 100%. However, they don't have free reign either. The most important element is ensuring the characteristics and uniqueness of the original game shine in the new project. Damn, tell him. Sakurai, tell him damn straight. Boy! Except when he's working on Ganondorf, in which case he's just, you know. Okay, so at this point, I just want to kind of talk about this a little bit. And one thing I want to do is I want to give ARMS some credit here. I think ARMS is such a great franchise in terms of its lore and in terms of its character design and things like that. I think this series is a freaking smash hit, honestly, when it comes to that. Really the only problem is problems with the gameplay, which I think can be fixed. I think it is fixable if we sit here and kind of go through and see what's wrong with the gameplay. Maybe that could be for another video. In all honesty, ARMS is a really good franchise, and I know everyone always likes to say, oh, but it sold bad. Well, not really. It just sold bad in the eyes of the consumer, because the consumer compares ARMS to Splatoon, because at the time ARMS was coming out, one of the last games and one of the more recent games in people's memory is Splatoon. Plus, on top of that, ARMS got announced during the same conference, which is a Nintendo Switch one, where the Switch was first getting unveiled. And that's when Splatoon 2 was announced, and therefore kind of trumped ARMS, because Splatoon at that point was already an established franchise. ARMS was something new and on people's minds, but Splatoon 2 was like the more exciting thing to happen. Whereas ARMS was like, what, the second announced game at that conference? I don't know. I believe it was like the second game. It was mad. Either way though, I think for being such a young series, I think the series is doing great, and I hope the next ARMS game, whatever it's called, ARMS 2, I don't know, whatever the game is called, I think it could be a successful hit. The only problem with it is that it is so tailor-made for the Switch that it would be very difficult, well, maybe not very difficult, but it would require some changes to other consoles. Whatever the new console is, I don't know. Well, anyway, we're not getting into that. It's just side rant, I'm sorry. Either way, let's finish this up.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Well, looks like I'm late again. Haha, haha. Oh man, dude, this is so unprecedented. Me being late for a Japanese Famitsu? What? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, so another one came out in the making of this video. So we're gonna go over this one, and we're gonna fit this column into, because for the most part they both talk about Min. So we're just gonna cover all of it. Okay. So once again, thanks to PushDustin for this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually link this and hopefully the other one that I have in the description below. Also make sure to give PushDustin a follow if you guys want the newest information about Sakurai's Famitsu interviews. PushDustin is always right on it, so make sure to go check him out. But anyways, as PushDustin said, in today's column, Sakurai is talking a bit about Min. This column is sponsored. No. You ain't getting no free sponsor out of me. We're moving on. So this one, I believe, shows more of kind of the intricacies of how exactly Min works as a character. And I think there is a couple of tidbits in this one. I've basically skimmed through this one just to see the gist of what this article is about, but it's mostly about Min's controls and how both her arms are like an A and B button at the same time. Usually a character's B moves obviously are drastically different from the A moves. In this case, it's not. It's the same thing, and we haven't seen that in the character at all yet, and this is the first time we're seeing it. Sakurai just talks about this, which is pretty cool. So it says, when controlling Min in Smash, players use the A button to control her left arm and the B button to control her right arm. The opposite of how fighters are controlled in ARMS. Now, I actually didn't know this fact about how ARMS is done. I assume once again it's just because Smash Bros and ARMS are two very differently structured games. So obviously you couldn't get the complete package, and you couldn't put both on ARMS. What the hell does that even mean? You guys know what I mean. They obviously couldn't put the exact control scheme of arms and stuff, but it is pretty similar, and it works pretty similar to how it does in arms compared to Smash Bros. So I would say the team did a really good job on that front. So shout out to the team. Give them little golf claps. Give them golf claps. Anyways, it would be intuitive to assume that the A and B buttons will control their respective sides. In fact, when Sakurai wrote the design plan for Min Min, it was like this. So why exactly did the team ultimately reverse? A and B buttons will control their respective sides. Oh, so like the A button would control the right arm, and because I forgot how which one controls which. I believe B is right and A is left. I don't know, bro. I really don't. I'll show the footage of Sakurai explaining it in the video itself, so you guys won't be confused. But I'm pretty sure, if I have to guess, A is right, B is left.
Here, please hit me as hard as you can.
Many fighters are right-handed, and for those fighters, it's natural to have the left foot forward. There are a lot of reasons for this. As an example, in boxing, the left punch is for quick jabs, and the right is for strong follow-up. Now, I know we've heard Sakurai talk about this. I guess, obviously, the most apparent character for this type of comparison is probably Little Mac. How a character like moves and punches, obviously, is apparent in Smash Bros. Like, for example, I remember in Smash 4 when Sakurai initially had the mechanic of characters being able to switch. When they're on the left side, you can still see them front view, because before in like Brawl and stuff, you would see from the back if you turn a certain way, in the front and another way, and that was it for every character. It's only if for some characters now still have that back to front perspective, but now characters have like a front to front perspective, like Mario and Kirby, and I think Bowser are some good examples of that. And I think one of the reasons Little Mac is from the back, because of the way like how boxing is, I think it made a lot of sense to keep it like that. I don't know, it's something like, I hope you guys get what I mean. Like, obviously I can't put into words, but freaking hell, man, I just suck. Min Min, when she's in her idle pose, her left foot is in front as well as her left arm. Since the initial design plan, Min Min was able to change her arm using her special attack, B button. Therefore, she would have swapped arm that was initially in front. Is that so that way the player can see which arm they're gonna choose? Maybe that is the reason why it doesn't switch the dragon arm hand, but on the other arm it does switch between the Ram and the Megaton thing and the dragon arm and stuff, because the player will be able to see. I actually didn't think about that, because I was always not wondering, I just thought it wasn't possible. Maybe it was, and it just, from a design perspective, that just wouldn't be smart. Maybe, I don't know. That could be it. Either way, like in boxing, it didn't make sense to make the more powerful punch from her left arm to be in front. So Sakurai flipped the controls for the arm. Since Smash is a 2D game, it wasn't too much of a problem to make this change from the original game. So it didn't make sense to make the more powerful punch from her left arm to be in front. Oh god, I'm so oh fudge, no. I don't get it. Okay, hold on.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, I get it, I promise, I get it. So, like, in boxing, when it terms of, like, boxing and stuff. So, he's right, okay, I get it. So, when you're punching from your left hand, you are able to go for quicker jabs, but with the right hand, it's more power. And from that case, since she steps with her left foot, it had to do the switching from the right arm, so that way she punches for. Okay, I get it now. Oh my gosh. I was so confused. Oh my gosh, bro. Okay, let's finish this up, bro. Sakurai often has to consider the direction. For example, when designing plans for the challenger approaching trailers, the stage position, and which way the characters will stand when they first appear are major elements to be considered. Really? Is that really true? The stage position and which way the characters will stand when they first appear are major elements to be considered? Really? I don't know what to say to that. That's actually really interesting. I didn't know that. I never even considered that. Like, I mean, that just shows Sakurai's amazing attention to detail in terms of how, when he designs a character, like how exactly the character is designed and stuff. Makes sense. Sakurai, he's shown to be a person that focuses a lot on the little thing, which is one thing that I like, because that's a lot of things that I like in terms when I look at games. I look at very, very little things. Usually when it comes to a game, the graphics and stuff, like, they mean a lot and stuff, but it's kind of the little things, like, does that tree sway when it's windy? If it's sunny, are these people outside? If it's nighttime, are the people inside? That sort of thing that nobody really cares about except me. So it is what it is. I'm just here, you know. I'm just here. Alrighty, next part. Let's do it, because I totally realized that there was a second part to this article. Totally. I'm never finishing this video, man. God dang it. All right, let's go. All right, so the second part, I'm not gonna spend as much time on this part as I did the other like 3 parts I did, because honestly, we gotta wrap this up. So I'm gonna run through things. If I have to say something, I'll say something. I'll try to limit my speech as much as possible. All right, Sephazon, give it to me. All right, give it to me. The story is a continuation of Monster Hero Sakurai's Famitsu number 609, started by PushDustin. It details the fighter position and composition direction of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The new fighters generally stand on the left side of the stage to face the audience and towards the right. Their opponent faces the opposite direction towards the new fighter. Therefore, it looks better when fighters stand with their left foot in front. Like Min Min, Cloud's stance is also flipped from his original design. In the original game, Cloud was on the right side and faced towards the audience. Sakurai imagined how the game would look if it was flipped and how Cloud would stand. After imagining it, he consulted with Tetsuya Nomura and informing him of his vision. Sakurai received his okay on changing his original stance. So I mean, I think everything is pretty self-explanatory. I think this is actually interesting information. I never really thought about the whole flip direction. As I said before previously in the video, direction was kind of a thing Sakurai focused on in Smash 4. I feel like in Smash 4 is when he really focused and honed on those little details, those minute details that no one would get from just playing it. Like no one would bat an eyelash to this information. So I think it's really cool how that's the case. I actually never noticed that, so I feel like next time I play Smash Bros, I want to see if that really is the case. That's actually really interesting. But yeah, Marth is equipped with a rapier held in his front hand, which traditionally implements stabs. Different stabs don't look that different in game. On the other hand, Ike is a fighter who emphasizes raw power in his stance and holds his sword in his dominant hand. There is a variety of body movements when considering fighting technique. For example, there is no set rule for holding 2 items. Sakurai says his intention is to try and explain the reason behind the position and movements of fighters. So obviously, this is a great detail of things that get shown, and obviously there are some other reasons I think this is actually past the whole fighters turning around thing. This is just position of fighters when they're in battle in general. So that's definitely next time I play Smash Bros. I'll look at that. You know, I'll peep it. We'll see what happens. All right, we'll see what happens. Either way, I don't really have much to say about it. I just think this is a really cool, interesting information that Sakurai reported on. So yeah, I'm glad I covered this one here. So yeah. Anyways, that concludes the translation of Sakurai's Famitsu 609. So that is it. That is the entire Famitsu article. Overall, I think this is really cool. I think I like the examples he gave, like with Marth equipped with a rapier, it's held in his front hand, but Ike has his sword in his dominant hand, so he can have stronger hits. It's obviously a ploy to kind of personalize these characters more, like how Link holds his sword in his dominant hand, Marth does in a hand where he can get as much range as possible, I guess, like that sort of thing. I don't know. If I'm completely off the mark, I'm completely off the mark. It is what it is. But that was a cool one. That was a cool one. I actually like that one. I wish I spent more time analyzing it, but I'm gonna be honest, I really gotta finish this video, so we're gonna stop there. All right, either way, I think this was a really interesting introspective into how exactly the character is made. Now once again, this is added to the other video because I may as well, because they're both about Min Min, so it's just, you know, like I said, it's just nice to have both in there. So yeah, this was really interesting. Tell me what you guys think of this in the comment section below, and maybe explain it a tiny bit. Like, I understand the gist, but you know, just in case I don't really understand, I probably don't, I'll be honest. I'm dumb as a bag of hammers. So there are only 5 more DLC characters. After they've been released, the continuous Smash development from Smash for 3DS/U will finally come to an end. The team is already underway developing the remaining characters and will continue doing their best working from home. Man, oh man. So we are coming to the end of the journey, folks. We are definitely coming to the end of an era, because this was, quite honestly, probably some of the most work Sakurai has done, besides the whole Melee thing and him doing Melee in very, very short amount of time. I don't know how many off the top of my head. Sakurai has done a lot. He's made basically 3 Smash games consecutively. He's made 3DS and Wii U at the same time, which were like 2 different development cycles. And then on top of that, right after kind of the DLC, actually even before all the DLC got announced, they were working on Ultimate. And it's like, my goodness, like I said, I have stressed this multiple times, but I hope Sakurai takes a very, very, very long break from Smash Bros. I think after this, he doesn't have to make a Smash Bros game for a very long time. And you know, once again, I hope these next 5 characters are ones that are the bomb, the bomb. The giggity. Either way, I hope Sakurai and the team is 100% sure to take a break. I feel like personally, once again, I think Sakurai should work on something else, another game. Later down the line, he should take like a year break from everything. Just take a year to himself to just relax, calm down. And then after that, he can maybe get working on another series that he likes or something. I don't know. I think it would just be cool to see Sakurai work on something else besides Smash Bros. As much as I love Smash Bros, as much as I want to continue making content for it, I love it so much. I want it to end because I feel very bad for this man. I want him to get his freaking downtime, man. I feel like this man's just been in slave labor, freaking working away. It's like, bro, go outside, Sakurai. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Okay, we're not breaking into a Disney song, but honestly, I do think Sakurai is having a beautiful day at his new house, which relates back to the last quote that we're gonna talk about. Look at that transition. There are only 5 more DLC characters after they've been released. The continuous Smash development from Smash before. Sakurai showed off his new house in the last broadcast, but it still worked out well, don't you think? Sakurai has ideas on how to improve the broadcast next time, but he's hoping the next broadcast will be recorded when things are better and he won't have to film from home again. Well, hopefully you guys are doing better than we are in America. Right now in America, it's yep, a hellstorm. Yeah. I don't know if he's gonna go back into the station where he was before. I forgot where he went. I know I talked about it in a video, but I don't know if he's gonna go back to that office specifically. He may go to a different place, I'm not sure. Or he may film from a different area, I don't know. Maybe he'll film from an area that he's previously, I don't know, man. I'll be honest, I have no clue, bro. I have no clue. I hope that the next broadcast will be recorded when things get better as well. We don't know when that is, and we don't know when the next character is going to be. We're just going to have to wait and see, and I hope the next character is whenever. I'm going to be honest, they can take their time with it, do whatever they want, finesse it. I don't know. It is what it is. And I love how it says, hopefully he won't have to film from home again. It's just so funny, because it's like Sakurai's like, all right, guys, you've seen the tiny bit of my house. I'm done. Get out. Paparazzi, get out. It's like he just doesn't want anyone to see his house, any more of his house. It's funny. Homie's protected. Either way, though, that is the full article, folks. That is the full article about everything that happened. Once again, I'm happy that Min Min's in Smash Bros. I made a whole video talking about the conference, my opinions on the whole ARMS stuff that's been happening that I never talked about. So if you guys want to go check out any of my opinions on that, I recommend you go check out the video presentation analysis I did. Either way, though, TLDR, I'm happy that Min Min's in the game. I love the way they made her. I'm really glad they made her the way they did. She is very unique from the rest of the cast, and that's all I want in a character at this point, is just I want them to be unique. I want them to be different from everyone else, and that's really about all I want. Other than that, they can choose whoever they want. They could choose my left shoe coming to Smash Bros. Yeah, left shoe. Anyways, though, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate everything. Thank you guys so much. I know you guys are the homies, all right? You guys are the homies. Not that type of homie, but you guys are the homies. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this episode and want to see what else is on the grill, you guys check out this whole playlist in the description below. And of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys want more Smash talk on your plate. And with all that being said, you can put your spatulas down now, but keep it sizzling, my Baconators. Peace. Oh, wait. Hold on. Komenasai onegashimasu. Go check out my playlist to every other Famitsu article I did. Well, you don't have to, obviously, but I made a playlist for all of the Famitsu article videos. Those will be under here. Quick news, baby. And with that being said, yeah, I'm gonna get about. So thank you guys for watching. They say you can put your spatulas on now, but keep it sizzling, my Baconators. Peace. Alright, that was the actual sign off. I'm gone. Cue outro.